Hey everybody, Carolina Venom here. Today I'm doing a review on my DXG 5COV pocket camcorder. This is going to be a full review of the DXG, going to show you the ins and outs and the features of the camera along with the pros and the cons. There will be a part 2 video with a bunch of video tests, photo tests, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that at a later date. But right now, let's go and get started with the walk around, whatever you want to call it. Here's your microphone. On top, you have your SD card slot, your micro mode, your lens, your video light on the bottom. You got a tripod mount. On the back here, you got a HDMI out, or HDMI. For your HDMI cable. You have a USB, AV out, and DC. You got your zoom up and down here. Also works some of the settings. Here's your video light button, your mode to go between your camera, video, and your system settings. This button here is to start and stop your recordings. One thing about it, you click it once, it won't do anything. You have to click it twice to get to record and twice to get it to stop. It also takes your pictures. We'll go ahead and flip this up. It turns on automatically, so we'll power it off here for a second. Your speaker is down here. Doing this one-handed, so we're going to do the best we can. We can get this door off. Under here is your battery, rechargeable. It's a 720 milliamp hour battery. I have a hard time finding spare batteries for this camera. I've looked all over the place and can't find them, and it's really kind of a bad thing because battery life is not the greatest. Up here is your power button, your menu button, your playback button. Screen, of course, swivels around. You can sit and do self-portraits, video yourself, whatever you want to do. Here we have a nice big 3-inch touchscreen display. We'll go ahead and power it on and go through the settings. If my camera won't show up a whole lot of the settings, then I'll just name them out and we'll go from there. Up here we have your EV brightness and dimmer. Goes from 0 to +2 to -2. Down here is your battery meter, your resolution that you're in. This right here is your SD card percentage, and it shows that you got an SD card present. I don't like this feature. I would rather have a camera that told me how much time I had left on the memory card for recording, but instead it gives you a percentage from 10 to I guess 0 to 99%. 100%, and I don't like that because it's back out of there. If depends on what size card you're using, you never know when you're run out of memory, so it's kind of a bad thing. But to go into your menu settings, you click on your resolution. It's a really nice touchscreen, very responsive. Have no troubles with it at all. Your auto white balance. Also, it does not give the names of each meaning here in the white balance. It just has a sun, rain, like a fluorescent light, and a light bulb. I just leave it on automatic. Here is your resolution. You have QVGA, WVGA, 720p, 1080p, and 1080p high quality. QVGA is a slow motion resolution, has no sound, so it's really not good for anything unless you want to just record something in slow motion. WVGA records at 60 frames per second. 720, 1080, and high quality is 30 frames per second. And if you're like me, you want to know if it's a memory eater or not. So I recorded each one of these resolutions except for QVGA for 1 minute to give an estimated megabytes per minute. And WVGA records at 33 megabytes per minute. 720 is 32 megabytes per minute. 1080p high quality is both 61 megabytes per minute. I'm guessing WVGA is a little bit higher in memory because it's 60 frames per second. I really can't tell the difference between 720 and WVGA, but I've not had HDMI. I've not had it hooked up HDMI wise, so I can't really say which one looks better. But I like WVGA because it has better frames. So back out of here, go into your effects. You have your color, black and white, and sepia. Your night mode here. Night mode is not too bad unless you're in a very dark area. But night mode is fairly decent. The only problem is you got to give up some video quality. It's kind of jittery. It ain't very smooth. But other than that, it's a pretty cool feature. And down here you have your quality of fine and super fine, core super fine. If you choose that as on your video quality, it will also up your megabytes per minute. Don't know by how much, so can't comment on that because I keep it on normal. Your mode button here goes to your camera. Same way, your EV brightness up and down here. I got night mode on. It tells you how many pictures you got remaining. Click on this here. It's got the same settings. The only difference in the settings here is the resolution is 3, 5, and 12 megapixels, and the self timer is 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or of course off. Rest of the set they're the same. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off night mode here while I'm at it. But like I said, touchscreen is very responsive. I have no problems with the touchscreen whatsoever. Push mode again, you go into your system settings, have your date and time, your beep on and off, your auto power off 1 minute and 5 minutes. You have your TV standard, format, default, language, and your frequency, 60 or 50 hertz. That's pretty much about it. I don't really know of anything else I can really say about the camera as far as feature wise goes. I've had this camera for a little while. This camera actually is available at Walmart.com. That's where I bought mine for $39. I think they're still available. If you go to their website, type in DXG. This is the only camera that should pop up, and for $39. I mean, you get a pouch, you get an HDMI cable, an AV out, you get a home base charger, and everything. The only difference is when you get on there and look at it, it says that it is a DXG 5COV, but as you tell back here, it's a 5COV. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why it's different at all, because the box even says WOV, but the camera says COV. That's kind of a mystery to me, but anyway, but $39, really nice camera. It also says on the website that there's no tripod mount, which as you see, there's one right here. Really nice camera. It's pretty small, lightweight. It's a little slippery. Got kind of a pistol grip to it. It's really nice. I think this is a really good camera. It really puts all the other pocket camcorders that I have tested to shame, except for the Toshiba Camilio. I got a hard time choosing between the Camilio and the DXG because there's something about the Toshiba that I like better than this one, and there's something I like about this one better than I do this one. So it's kind of a toss-up between these two cameras. But this camera here, I'm not really familiar with DXG products. But I seen this online for a good price, and I thought I had to pick it up and try it out, and I'm glad I did because it's a very nice camera. Of course, when you get into lower lighting, you start seeing some fuzziness in the video, but in good quality lighting, it's really nice, very clear. Audio quality is good, but there is some quirks. Yes, there is some quirks in the audio. If you are sitting around your house and you're recording or whatever, playing music, it's clear. It has a very nice sound to it. It's pretty sensitive. It can stand moderately loud volumes, and it's easy to pick up your voice. However, if you're in a car with the window cracked, even when the window's up and if it's quiet in the car and you are recording going down the road, sound quality diminishes dramatically. It's nothing but static, nothing but choppiness. You can barely even hear yourself talking. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but any other noise is clear as a bell. But when you're going on the road with this camera recording, even when the windows up, radio off, air, heat off, whatever, it's bad. It's just, it cuts down the audio quality terrible. But the pros of this camera is the audio quality, except for driving down the road. Video quality is very good. I've not really tested the 1080 or 1080 high quality yet, but I have tested the WVGA and 720, and like I said, I can't tell much difference in the quality right now, but I like the WVGA better because of the 60 frames per second and it's a lot smoother and it don't blur as bad. The 3-inch touchscreen is really nice. It's very responsive. It's never failed to cut on, never failed to work. Everything works flawlessly on this camera, or at least mine does anyway. Of course, you hear some bad about things, but mine never had a bit of problem with it. Picture quality is so-so. It's not the best. I mean, it's not got a fast shutter speed or nothing like that. It's pretty slow, and it's just it blurs very easily. But if you can keep it still with a self timer on a tripod, you might can get some pretty decent shots out of this. Some pretty decent picture shots out of this camera. For the cons, I would have to also say the microphone for driving down the road. Choppiness, it should be clear. When I tested my Toshiba going down the road, windows cracked, windows up, radio playing, it's clear as a bell. There's no choppiness, but this camera here for some reason has that problem, and I got to give the audio a plus and a minus because of that. Plus for good audio ordinarily, but bad if you're driving down the road. Another bad thing about this camera that I found for a con is the battery life. Battery life is not that good. The best I can get on battery life on this camera in a battery drain test is between an hour and 20 and an hour and 30 minutes, and that's thanks to the 720 milliamp hour battery. It needs at least a 1200 or 1400 milliamp hour battery to get at least 2.5 hours. But like I said, I've not been able to find batteries for this thing at all, so it's kind of a bummer. If this battery goes bad, I guess it's just not going to be useful unless you buy another camera just like it. And but the battery, but that's recorded in 720, and WVGA is about the same amount of time for record time. Last battery drain that I done on 720, I got an hour and 18 minutes before it shut off. Previous times on battery charges, I've got an hour and 25 or an hour and 30 minutes. So, it's not that great, but of course it's not that bad either. The battery don't take that long to charge. You can charge it from the home cradle that it comes with, or you can, if you have a plug-in to plug it in, you can charge it with the battery in it, but it takes about an hour longer to charge. And you can charge it in about 2.5 hours. Maybe a little bit longer, but about 2.5 hours is about the right time for battery charging on this camera. But I highly recommend this camera. Like I said, Walmart.com, $39. Type in DXG. I think they're still available, and it comes with all kinds of stuff. And it's a really nice camera. I really recommend it. The only con is battery life that I found, and low light video is not the best. But what do you expect? I mean, I've seen other pocket camcorders that are more than this that are just flat out terrible. Some of my past reviews on pocket camcorders have it just can't even compare to the quality of this DXG. So I'm very satisfied. I'm not really planning on buying any more cameras anytime soon. I mean, I got this one in my Toshiba, and that's the only ones I carry now because both of them are really good cameras, and the other ones are pretty much just in storage. Never gets used because they ain't really worth using. But this one here is a really nice camera. I will say it again, I recommend it. And if you can find one, and if they're still online, I definitely check it out. Another thing I want to mention before I get off of here, I about forgot it until I seen it. The SD card Manual says that it will take a 16 gigabyte class 6 card. That's the max, but I run a SanDisk Ultra 16 gigabyte class 10 card in this camera, and I have no problems with it at all. I have two cards that I use. I use I think it's a WinMate, if I ain't mistaken. Let me look and see. No, a WinTech. Yeah, I use a WinTech FileMate. Also in it, it's a 8 gigabyte class 6, and both of them work really good in this camera, so no problems there. I wouldn't go any higher than 16 gigabyte because it probably won't take it, but 16 gigs class 10 works very good. So anyway, sorry this review is so long. I wanted to get everything out, and if you got any questions, comments, please leave them below. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Stay tuned for the part 2 video here in the near future for all the photos and videos that I'm going to be doing on this thing. So y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later.